When a single dad takes the one job the entire town warned him about, nobody expected what he'd discover in that dusty old building, especially him. This is the story of how the worst job became the best decision of his life. People told him he'd regret it. They said no one lasted more than a week. But when you're a father with bills piling up and a daughter counting on you, you take what you can get, even if the job feels cursed. Ethan Hale never imagined his life would narrow down to a tiny apartment, overdue bills, and his 8-year-old daughter Lily sleeping on a mattress that had lost its springs long ago. 3 years ago, his wife had passed away suddenly, and Ethan had been drowning ever since, emotionally, financially, and sometimes, on the worst nights, in guilt. He worked odd jobs, anything he could find, but they were inconsistent, underpaid, and usually gone as quickly as they came. Every month was a careful dance of what can wait another week, and what will Lily never know we skipped. So when the job opened at the old Glenwood textile factory, people practically begged him not to apply. It's falling apart. No one wants to work there. Machines are ancient, dangerous. It's haunted. Some teenagers snickered, but the only thing Ethan heard was, "They're hiring. They pay weekly, and they don't ask many questions." On his first day, the building greeted him with a cold, stale breath. Dusty windows, flickering lights, metal beams that groaned like they remembered better days. The job was simple: clean, sort, and maintain what equipment still ran. Lily, ever the optimist, had hugged him tightly that morning. "Daddy, if you get this job, can we maybe get a real bed someday?" Ethan swallowed the lump in his throat and promised, "Yeah, baby. Someday, soon." The factory was lonely, giant, and strangely quiet for its size. Ethan often felt like he wasn't alone, even though he knew he was. But what made it bearable was a small, locked room at the far end of the building. Every time he passed it, he felt something, a faint warmth, almost like a heartbeat behind the door. One night, he stayed late because overtime meant groceries. As he walked past that door, he heard it a soft sound, fragile, like a child humming. He froze, leaned in. The humming stopped. He stepped away quickly, convincing himself it was just old pipes. But the next day, he found something scribbled on the dirty floor near that door. Lily's name. Not written by a child's hand, but carved deeply. Like someone had taken a tool to the concrete. Ethan's chest tightened. Something was happening here, something impossible. Something tied to him, and he wasn't sure if he should walk away or open the door. He didn't know it yet, but this job, this one job nobody wanted, was about to transform everything he thought he knew about loss, hope, and second chances. He thought the factory needed repairing. He had no idea it was his life that was being rebuilt. And the moment he opened that door, everything changed. Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that the factory was watching him, responding to him, almost guiding him toward that locked room. For days he tried to ignore it. But every time he passed by, he heard something soft humming, faint tapping, or a whisper of movement. He asked his supervisor about the door, but the man waved him off. "Some old storage closet. Doesn't matter. Stay out of it." But how could he? His daughter's name had been carved into the concrete. He had lived through too much pain to ignore signs like that. One stormy night, as rain pounded the roof, Ethan decided to finally open it. He used an old key ring he found in the maintenance office. One key fit perfectly. The door clicked open with a slow metallic sigh, like the room had been waiting. Inside, he found something that made his knees buckle. Stacks of unfinished textile blankets. Beautiful, soft, hand-woven patterns. Patterns he recognized because they were drawings his late wife used to make. He touched one with shaking fingers. How? Why were her designs here? She had never worked in the factory, never sold anything, never published her art. She kept them in a sketchbook that had been lost the day she died. Then he saw it, a small wooden box sitting on a work table. Dusty, untouched. He opened it and found her sketchbook inside, her handwriting, her doodles, notes she wrote for future blankets she dreamed of making. Ethan sat on the floor and cried in a way he hadn't allowed himself to in years. Suddenly, he understood the humming he had heard. His wife used to hum when she drew. It was her melody, her rhythm, and this factory, the place everyone avoided, was the last place she had been before she died. But the truth was even bigger than that. Inside the box was a letter addressed to My Ethan and Lily. She had written it a week before her passing, planning to give it to them when her first textile line launched. The factory owners had found her work so extraordinary they had created a private space just for her and promised to start production soon. Ethan read the letter with trembling hands. She wrote about her hopes, her fears, her love for them, her dreams for their future, and how she believed, one day, this place will bring you back to life, and somehow, impossibly. Ethan made a decision then and there. He took her unfinished designs to the factory owner. Instead of laughing, the owner's eyes filled with tears. He remembered Ethan's wife, remembered her talent, remembered her passion, and right in that office, he offered Ethan something unbelievable. Restart her textile line. Take her job. Finish what she began. The factory will back you. Ethan accepted with his whole heart. Months later, he stood with Lily in a brand new apartment, her jumping on her new bed, laughing, wrapped in one of her mother's blankets. From a job no one wanted came a legacy, a business, a healing he never imagined. And for the first time in years, Ethan finally believed something he thought he never would again. Sometimes the places we fear the most hold the pieces we're meant to find.